as many people. Should I say continue? Do I click continue?
Yes, you just continue.
Okay. Well, greetings, everybody. I want to thank you all. We're still waiting for quite a few people to come on. We may have, Kate did say that she would come. And I've invited Mark and everybody, all the tribunal judges have been asked to come. As I just want to emphasize that this is not about bashing. This is not about any form of negativity. It's about love, truth, honesty, and justice. There are some things that have transpired whereby there has been distortion of the facts. First of all, there's been a lot of reports and complaints of mistreatment of judges. Now, as a tribunal co-founder, which Alfred is denying that I am the co-founder now, there's a lot of lies happening, and it's kind of shocking to me and a lot of other people, because Michelle will tell you, and anybody here will tell you, that I always sing Alfred Weber's praises. I say he's a lovely man. Michelle, would you?
You actually introduced him to me, Seven, the same as Dr. Rima. And then Dr. Arima approached me separately by email. And in fact, she was doing exactly the same to me as what Alfred did to you. She got me to promote her cards. She knew I was in a terrible financial position. I introduced her to all my great contacts. And then she did exactly the same. She was literally using me to just get all the contacts. And then she said she'd help me a little bit financially. Never happened. You know, knowing that I was in the same position as you, Seven. And I feel very, you know, I feel very similar to you. I feel very used.
Oh, I'm so glad that you've come on and spoken, Michelle, because there was 32 judges at one point.
Yes.
And what's happening is all of us have been separated. So we don't know what's happening to the other person unless somebody takes the opportunity to share with the rest of the judges what's happening to them. And what my feeling here is a number of things. I co-founded the tribunal on the 26th of March, and I want to show you all, I want to share the screen and show this to you, because it's now stated that I did not co-found the tribunal, that I came in more or less with all the other judges in November. So I want to show you just a few exhibits, because we're dealing with the truth, we're dealing with facts. And a lot of people are being hurt by these people. And what hurts me in particular is that I spent a year of my life to create this tribunal to protect people, to protect people from the COVID-19 situation, the lockdowns, and also create a vehicle that we could protect each other and respect each other. And what is happening is Alfred has brought in these deep state operatives, because that's what they are. And basically, people have been picked off one by one individually, and they are being violated. They're being mistreated. When you speak up, people are being slandered. They're being defamed, having their reputations absolutely destroyed. Money is being embezzled. We're being used as cash cows. I didn't know about Michelle up until now. It breaks my heart, Michelle, that you're on here as well, because nobody knows what's happening to the other judges. So basically, in June, the 14th of June, I did an investigation in terms of, a number of us had a lot of evidence of emails of people complaints. I was just so shocked, because I created this thing with Alfred. So I have a duty of care. I'm a responsible person. I don't want to hurt nobody. I never created this to hurt people. And these people are hurting people. And so those of us who speak up and say, this is wrong, are being really abused. So Michelle, your testimony is going to be really important in regards to this, but I want to share the screen just very quickly, and then we'll cut to it. So first of all, I want to go to, let me see if I can find I think I have to first align the video, just 2 ticks. I just have to pull the video up and then it will go into the share screen box. And, you know, I mean, I think Kate is, if anybody's got Kate's number, I don't know if anybody's got Kate's Shamanani's number that we can call her to come on as well, because God knows what's happened to her. I do know that Alfred said that she, you know, had handlers and he told lies about her as well, as Mark Steele. So just to kick off this thing, let's start. Okay. So this is, I don't know if you can, oh no, you can't see it. I'm not sharing the screen yet. Let me just share the screen. Apologies for that. So I should have the video. Yeah, I do. And I just do this to make sure that we can all hear it. Now,
she's just come in.
Can you see what I'm showing?
Kate has just come in.
Oh, wonderful. Greetings, Kate. I'm wondering if I should stop the sharing just for a minute, just so that I can say hi to Kate and just put her in the picture. Let me stop sharing for a minute. Kate, thank you so much for coming. Do you know, Kate, I just found out that Michelle Young here has been abused as well. She's been misused by Rima as well. And that's why it's important to put these things together and all come together in these situations, because we don't know who is being abused by who, because we've all been segregated and we've all been put in a position independently, so we don't know what's happening to you. Not everybody will send an email out to say this is happening to me. You know, the investigation only collated the evidence of people who had provided statements, but what has happened is people have been picked off one by one. They've been verbally slandered, abused. I mean, we were just about, Kate, we're just about to hear from Michelle, but before, because Alfred has put out a message saying I was never a tribunal co-founder. I wasn't the tribunal's co-founder, and he basically did me a favor, even though I spent a year of my life busting my ass to get this tribunal. And you've been on the platform many times, Kate, before many other people, and Kemet and Clyde. There's quite a lot of people that were in, excuse me, involved in the earlier days before we went into the hearing side of things. So what I'm doing, Kate, and everybody, and I want to thank you all. This isn't not about bashing anybody. This is not about being malicious. This is about truth. People are being hurt, and I have a responsibility because I created this thing. And I can't allow it to happen anymore. Actually, I'll be honest with you. God said, do it. Do it. I'm telling you, it was so hard for me, because I was being bashed. Every time I opened the email, I was being slandered. I was being accused of things I had nothing whatsoever to do with. I wasn't there. And all of a sudden, I was being sent, the emails were being circulated around the world saying I did X, Y, and Z, and I had nothing to do with any of it. And so what we're doing to begin with, just very quickly, before we come to all of you, because my concern is that public money is being embezzled here. My name has been used and my circumstances were used to take money. In April, Alfred said there was $3,000 in there, and I'll show you. Instead of talking, let's just kick to the evidence. So let me just quickly show you to begin with that for the record, this is how we began the tribunal. And I want to just scroll down and you will see that this date, can everybody see that? Can everybody see what I'm showing?
Yeah.
You can? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay. All right, okay. So basically what you're seeing in front of you is on the 27th of March, 2020, Alfred and I, 7 UK, Alfred Webre, Natural and Common Law Tribunal on a Lawful Global Corona Lockdown, Judges 7 and Alfred Webre. This is when we launched it to begin with. You will see Alfred is at the top here and I am sitting here. Now, I won't show you a lot, but I'll show you a couple of significant slides because this is a presentation we did to launch the tribunal, and it says Judge 7 from the UK, and it tells you a little bit about my background. And then this is about Alfred. It gives you about his background. Actually, I'll play a bit because, you know, it will give more context.
Of the
Alfred
UK,
is reading this
7
out.
Gate, where she sued 10 corrupt
Hang
tribunal
on.
for public health and justice, being held on the 26th of March of 2020. And Judge 7 of the UK has been a plaintiff in the High Court of the UK, in 7 Gate, where she sued 10 corrupt corporations and individuals and won the largest case in the history of international media broadcasting. The case, 7 versus Gossage et al., 9 other defendants. Judge Alfred lLambremont Webre has been a judge on the 9/11 War Crimes Tribunal, a judge on the Kuala Lumpur War Crimes Tribunal, and holds a certificate in community health centers from the Harvard School of Public Health. Our findings of fact as a tribunal include that the government of the UK no longer classifies COVID-19, the coronavirus, as an infectious disease of high consequence.
Okay, so that's where I'm going to stop that. Did you see that last bit that I showed you? Did everybody see what I shared with you?
Yeah.
Did you see that Alfred read out a slide?
Yes.
All right, okay. All right, so now I want to show you another exhibit, which is basically, hang on, maybe it's this one. Okay, so this is Alfred and I in April. I don't know why I've got this little screen. There's a little screen coming up here. I don't know why. Can everybody see that what I'm showing you on the screen now?
Yes.
Yes, yes, we can see it.
It's basically me. A video was showing me. Can you see that? Yeah?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, good, thank you. So this says emergency tribunal hearing for corona pandemic planetary shutdown. And this is on April 18th, 2020. So basically we're talking approximately a month after we launched. We actually appeared on together on Sasha Stone's ITNJ. And I'm showing it to you specifically. I want to give you all the exhibits here because basically what he is now saying, I'm going to read you what Alfred is now saying, that I was not the tribunal's co-founder. And so you go to bear in mind that we began this on the 26th of March, 2020. And for a year up until March 2021, when I started being brutalized and attacked because Alfred had brought in, he'd created an administration team behind my back comprising of Rima Leibau, Ralph Fusitola and Michael Zazio. And they did this behind my back and then they engineered to remove me. But what actually transpired, that there had been a systematic pattern of picking off judges one by one and removing them. Now, I want to emphasize here when I share this information, I am emphasizing that Alfred was somebody that I loved very dearly. He was my closest go-to person. And to see what has transpired, I do not recognize this man. Something has happened to him. I don't know. It is my hope that through this exercise, we will get to the truth of what's going on and the monies. He will return the monies and he will cease and desist the further abuse of tribunal judges. So let me just, Sasha introduces him here. I don't really need to go deeply into what was said, but just for the record, I should play some of it. So he...
And 7, please speak for a few minutes together on how you'd like to sum up this particular hearing as a court welcomed into this court.
Right, so do you hear that?
Yes.
As a court,
Yes, thank you very much.
welcome into this court. So him and I are effectively a court because we're two people as a tribunal. And basically nobody else came in until November. We had the hearings on the 15th of November, whereby I believe, I'm not sure when John and Bonnie did the logo, because we didn't have a logo. It was just basically him and I appearing on multiple platforms and as a tribunal all over the world. And it's important to emphasize this because lies are being told. So let's hear.
I'll speak first, then I'll ask my my
Do you hear
co-judge.
that? He says he speak first and then
Seven to
he'll
speak.
invite his co-judge, his co-founding judge, which was me. Okay.
And my summation is really coming from my early experience in 1969 as a cooperating attorney.
Okay, I'm not going to go into his speech fully, but what I want you to see is, I might have to play it to get it to this line to go, because underneath here is a
Civil
message.
Liberties
Hopefully we can get to it. Let me just take it down. You don't need to hear what he's saying. What I need you to see is underneath this section, it has a, it actually shows that Alfred, let me see if I open it up, if you'll be able to see it better. Okay. There you can see it says Judge Alfred lLambremont Webre, Natural and Common Law Tribunal for Public Health and Justice. All right, I'm going to fast forward so that you can actually see me now. He gives the presentation, by the way, he gives the first presentation, Alfred gives the presentation that I showed, Fact Finding in Law, which is our first ever launch. We bring it to this particular tribunal, which is the ITNJ with Sasha Stone. And so here you will see it says my name, Judge 7, and again it says Natural and Common Law Tribunal for Public Health and Justice. And actually Sasha introduced us as a tribunal, just the two of us. So Sasha's also a witness, and everybody who was on this is a witness that Alfred and I founded the Natural and Common Law Tribunal for Public Health and Justice. So I want to come out of this now and just fast forward to basically an exhibit of what Alfred has said is the case. This is was forwarded to, this was sent in the email recently. It says, please understand and be reminded, as stated below in the tribunal's letter of the 25th, 2021, that tribunal does not consider Charles 7 as co-founder of this tribunal. In point of fact, which Charles cannot deny under sworn oath, following tribunal's sole and propriety founding on private tribunal of conscience. Now, what is this? It says now as the Natural Tribunal for Public Health and Justice, Peace in Space, Earl. Judge Alfred has owned for almost 20 years. When he founded the Institute of Cooperation in Space with Dr. Carol Rosen, using the proprietary email, Judge Alfred, out of the kindness of his human heart, offered Charles 7, a targeted individual whom he had publicly interviewed for over 5 years, asked Charles 7 whether she wished to be a judge on the tribunal. Charles 7 response, which the truth now be known, was, Alfred, there is nothing I can do for you and your tribunal. And Charles 7 went back to her networking and usual way of life until tribunal began to gain public traction with the increasing publicity, visibility of genocidal plans of the public's perpetrators. At that point, Charles VII changed her decision not to associate with the tribunal and become a tribunal judge. Judge Alfred, with his usual magnanimity of honest character, re-offered Charles VII position as a judge on the tribunal. That does not consist as co-founder. That is a judge on a tribunal by any reasonable standards. Now, can I ask you, I'm going to come back. Did you see that, what I just shared with you?
7?
Yes.
7. Can I just ask, and I must apologize to everyone here. I'm sorry I'm late. I'm kind of, I don't know if you can see I'm working and I can't stay too long and I've got patients, but I want to ask, because I think I've missed, whenever I do anything like this, and it's, you know, often to sort things out, and I've only really had one contact with Rima, just myself, and it was when I was very direct and asked her what was going on. Now, you and I have known each other probably quite a long time now, 7, and we've had personal chats. We've met in London, and you know, I'm Christian. I consider you my sister in Christ. I make my own mind up. I'm sure everyone here knows that. I don't follow any team. I don't have to belong to a crowd. I belong to God only. And so I had this one thing with Rima, and it was very, she was very just professional, succinct, to the point. There was nothing. And you and I have had, for anyone else who doesn't know here, and I don't mind you and I saying it, you and I have had a conversation with Alfred alone regarding my court cases. I'm up in court for 6 criminal charges.
You're being framed, basically.
Yeah, oh, I don't really care. You know, what will be will be. I'm only ever put somewhere where I can handle it. So, you know, Alfred was going to help with that, but in the end, we decided that we didn't want to cause. You know, I'm in court under the law that is being used, not civil, not common law. So then we fight it with the law that's being used. I have a good barrister. And I think Alfred had some dealings with my barrister who said, no, we must do this separate. And Alfred was respectful of that. So,
well, actually, he said that your barrister was deep state.
Yeah. And my barrister said plenty the other way to me, but obviously I couldn't discuss that here. It would be unprofessional. It would be unjust when he's not here to defend himself. Right. So I have to ask here to everyone, whenever we're doing anything, what is the purpose of what we're doing? What do we hope to achieve? What are we hoping to achieve from today? And what is our plan to take it forward? Because right now, I was in London on Saturday. I interviewed a farmer. We know that there's food shortages. I'm seeing it all around. I've interviewed these people, and also I've questioned lots of supermarket managers. They're about to vaccinate the kids. So for me, the agenda is so huge unfolding in front of me. So what can we achieve from today?
Okay.
Collectively. I have to ask that for all of us. And I ask you that as not just on here, as that also as a friend.
Absolutely.
I know personal plight. I know what, and I don't want to in any way disrespect you or minimize what's happening.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Kate, for that. And so just for clarification, we actually, first of all, an investigation took place on the 14th of June into many complaints by tribunal judges that span back from December with Lena Poo, and who was complaining about due process, basically, Alfred bringing in people without notifying anybody else. 32 judges had already been agreed in November, because up until November, it was just Alfred and myself. And I pushed it. Everybody on here knows I've been on platforms with many people that was Alfred and myself. And what I just showed you is not the truth. Now, basically, initially, there were lots of emails. I was notified by another judge who I won't name. I went away in December, and somebody had died, a close friend of mine had died. And when I returned, in January, I was told that there was a lot of infighting and that Rima there was manipulation and corruption. Now, I'd worked with Alfred for 5-6 years in 2021, and so I didn't believe any of it. I just thought Alfred, you know, I read the stuff and I spoke to people and they said they were flagging up Alfred for corruption and manipulation, Rima Leibau for manipulation and corruption. And because I worked with Alfred for so long, I just didn't buy it. I just thought, no. So anyway, I brought the issue to the table and I said, Alfred, there are lots of emails. We need to address them. We're a tribunal. And as you saw, I co-founded it. So I have a sense of responsibility. I'm also a woman of God. I believe devotedly in the Most High, and the Most High has asked me to do this. I didn't want to do it. I honestly didn't want to do any of this. But it got to the point, it's so bad. So in January, up until February, there were complaints that were vicious and they were horrible. And I brought it to the tribunal and I was told that Dr. Leo Bello had mental issues and that everybody tried to help him. And so I just thought, okay, you know, I'm accountable. I started this thing with Alfred, as you've seen. And so I take what I do very seriously. I take what I represent the Most High, so I can't do things flippantly in my behavior. So I left it at that time. Alfred said, drop it. So I dropped it. And then there was another one by another woman called Ingrid Cassel. There was also one tribunal judge that died under suspicious circumstances. And so basically, and all of these people flagged up the same thing, that Rima Leibau was basically involved in manipulation and corruption, preventing them from putting evidence into the tribunal. You know, they've been invited here today, by the way, and Alfred agreed last week that we would have this meeting after the investigation, because for transparency, he has a right to be here. Every single time he's been offered to be on a platform, he runs scared because he knows the evidence is going to expose the truth. And he's right now is putting out lies. So anyway, in order to establish the truth, then there was an investigation that was conducted. And basically, it flagged up everything that what Leo said in the very beginning as being a fact. And the statements were compiled and they've made up a judgment and an order. Now, the judgment, I need to show you this in order to get to the answer Kate's question, because the order actually is a court order and it establishes, it's directive in terms of, okay, how do we clean this up? The first thing to clean it up is we have to bring transparency to the situation and acknowledge that something has gone wrong here, very, very badly so, and that people are being maliciously slandered, they're being defamed. These are professional people that we invited. All the judges were either invited by myself and Alfred as the co-founder, and now there is a different version of the truth being told. And so basically the end game objective, Kate, here is for, in the spirit of truth, peace, resolution, and love. That is my end game here. And it's difficult to achieve that if you have people who are attacking and they are extremely, probably feel guilt-ridden. They know what they've done, so they're basically maligning me. I mean, if I will show you the messages that I have been receiving just for this situation. Now, there is a situation with public monies that are being collected using my name, and I need to show you that as well in order to basically conclude that. Then the last thing, Kate and everybody, is that I have put together a new tribunal, effectively, one that will be run in the way it was intended, with transparency, because I had to really pray about this. Okay, do I walk away and leave all what we've done? Do I just walk away from here? Or do we reset and start again? Because obviously the last one has gone terribly wrong. People are being hurt. Now, in light of the world events, I mean, we're told that in 3 weeks' time, in the UK, we're going to be permanently locked down. That is a very serious situation. So the idea to just throw everything away that we built over a year, which is a perfect mechanism and tool to be able to protect people, is ludicrous. So in order to start a proper tribunal with a constitution, conflict resolutions if it may arise, you know, protocol, fairness, honesty, and law being at the root of it, and also God being at the root of it, we have to reset and start again and clean the whole thing up. But that can't happen unless we highlight what has transpired. You know, there's nobody from the public that's going to trust another one if we don't become transparent about what has really happened. And that is what I'm doing. I'm being transparent. I feel accountable to the public, particularly people donated to use. He used my name specifically, and I want to share that. So let me quickly cut to the chase, and we can go to some of the things that I'm talking about. And then I will open the floor up to all of you to give your, because obviously Alfred has collected money. We have tried to get him to be accountable. He's basically telling lies to everybody. He's telling people that I have extorted money from the public. I don't have access to any of the public's funds. And it's a very serious allegation when you actually tell people that somebody who has had no access to the funds whatsoever. I want to read it to you. There it is here quickly. And then I will show you the tribunal that we're creating so that you can see. So this is a tribunal survival needs. And he's got a picture. Now this is basically obviously post him and I. And he's got all of our images, a screen grab of all of our image. And this was in February. Let me just make sure that you can see the date so that you can see when these monies were being collected. It's not moving. I don't know why it's not moving. But anyway, this bit, can you all see this, the GoFundMe? So it says, Alfred Webre is organizing organizing this fundraiser, Natural and Common Law Tribunal for Public Health and Justice. Emergency GoFundMe for peaceinspace.org, Tribunal Judges, Life Survival Needs. There has now arisen a need for crowdfunding for tribunal judges' survival needs. Specifically, Tribunal Judge 7, UK, is being served a notice to vacate the domestic violence refuge where she's staying, and Tribunal Judge 7 will be homeless and may need assistance with rent payments. This was in February. Hopefully I can get to show you that this was in February. I don't know why it's not showing. Should show the date. Anyway, the point that I'm making here is that I didn't receive any of this money. And worse than that is that I am now being savagely attacked by Alfred. And he has published that I have extorted money from the tribunal as a tribunal judge. I mean, the allegations are so severe, and it is something that we have to bring to the table, because we're talking, he's saying that he wants to take action because I basically have brought this to the table. So I have to stop sharing and share again. Sorry, I have to do it this way because it doesn't seem to open otherwise. So let me see if I can show you again. How do I get to this? I'm wondering if I can get to it by this. There is another page. Just 2 seconds. Let me just come out again and just go in and find this page. I don't know where it is featured. Okay, now I know where it is. All right. Okay, it's on the top of there. So let me come back in and I'll share the screen and actually show you. Okay, so it's basically on, where is it on this one? Yeah, there. Hopefully it's there. Okay, so now here, this is emails that were sent to me, and I've only just had this email, and I have the amount of abuse I have, that I have mental problems, because I've asked about the money. I sent a message to Alfred to return the public's donations. And I referred to the order, which is I'll show you as well, and then we'll be able to get to what we do about all of this and how do we proceed in the light of the tragedies that are going on in the world. Basically, to the Natural and Common Law Tribunal, Alfred, co-founder Alfred lLambremont Webre, take notice that in accordance with the official tribunal order dated 14th of June, and I'll show you that in a minute, sent to you and all tribunal judges on the 14th of June 2021, it was ordered that you return the donations sent by the public by latest today, the 21st of June 2021, and all other monies owed by today. Gave the account to return the money, because he's specifically connecting money on my name. And I want to just, that was the tone of the email. We expect a full affidavit from the 28th of June, as set out within the previous official tribunal order sent to you on the 14th of June. And basically, it's a professional email. But I want to show you how Alfred has responded to this email, particularly when he says he's basically Charles Seven's mental incompetent to read and comprehend plain evidence that no tribunal charity fund was set up for her. Charles Seven exhibits signs of narcissistic paranoia, cannot read lawful email responses rationally. Now, I just showed you the GoFundMe page that he set up. And I need you to be able to see this email that Alfred has done, because this is a consistent string of emails absolutely slandering me for basically asking him to return the donations that he said specifically for Charles Seven. He mentions me being in a domestic violence refuge and that I will be homeless. And he's been collecting money. Now he writes to me that Seven is incompetent to read and comprehend plain evidence that no tribunal charity fund was set up just for her. Charles Seven exhibits signs of narcissistic paranoia, cannot read email responses. Now, it gets a lot worse than that, because he then goes on to say that basically my asking him, he says, extortion, criminal harassment by provocating serial liar. Now, he called me a liar until I produced the screen grabs, and I think I did produce the screen grabs here. And then he changed his tone slightly, but then continued to be extremely abusive to me. I'm just asking him for, these are the screen grabs that I just showed you, which I did send to Alfred. And it shows that he has been running a fundraiser using my name. And basically, he now has sent a number of messages saying that my asking him about these monies and for the monies is extortion of the tribunal. These are very serious allegations. He says that I'm an Afro-racist, and myself and Kemet Imani is an Afro-racist. I'm trying to get to some of these terrible, terrible emails where he says that he wants criminal prosecution for extortion, and this is the attempted criminal extortion and malicious prosecution by Charles Seven, and criminal conspiracies does not allow civil settlement. So basically, last Monday, along this email thread, we organize a settlement meeting, and you'll see it is in my Zoom, which says settlement meeting. Okay, that's pretty clear to everybody. I said, he gave me a few dates, and I said I can't attend on those dates. I'm unavailable to be able to attend on those dates. However, he now says that I did not allow a civil settlement. Instead, he organized a meeting with himself on Friday, didn't notify any of us, and said that attempted criminal extortion and malicious prosecution by myself and criminal co-conspirators does not allow civil settlement. And if you read this, what he's written, I mean, it's nothing short of absolute abuse. It is apparent so-called panel brought together ex parte false allegation against tribunal judge Webre is transparent and criminal enterprise on Charles VII's part. Basically, he's calling my asking for money about these money for him to explain about the fact that he's been collecting donations on my behalf for at least since February on my clock. And for anybody new here that's joining, I'm going to share again the exhibit that Alfred has been collecting donations using my name, and basically now has flipped that around to be attempted criminal extortion and malicious prosecution by Charles VII. Now, anybody here can see, quite frankly, somebody who has had, I don't have access to these funds. So in order for extortion, I would have to have, I'd have to have access to the funds. I'd have to have weapons. And basically, what I showed you the email, I just showed you the email that I sent to Alfred about these donations that he's been collecting on my name, hardly is attempted criminal extortion. What we see is that it's not even exaggeration. This is beyond exaggeration. This is an attempt to completely tarnish my name and make me look like an absolute criminal. And quite frankly, it's unbelievably abusive. On top of it, and I want to show again, on top of it, he's called myself and Kemet Imani Afro-racist 7 Kemet, and all Afro-racist African American. What does he say? Kangaroo, document kangaroo. Just let me finish and then you can come in there, brother. But some of the things that, can you mute for a minute? Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. I mean, some of the things is beyond defamatory. I mean, it's gross abuse. Out of an email asking Alfred to basically tell me what's happened with the donation. So while I'm here, I can actually show you the website, so then I'll be able to hand over. So this is the actual website. Hopefully we'll be able to see it. Now, this is a page documenting the investigation. Hopefully this thing will move. I don't know, how do you remove this bar so that people can see the actual heading, AJ? Can you see that the heading is at the top here and you can't see the title?
Sorry, that's for you, the top of the screen. I don't know if you can move your cursor to the top, it may go further up.
Okay, all right, yes, it does. Thank you. Sorry. So this is the Natural and Common Law Tribunal for International Public Health and Justice investigation news. So basically, a judgment, an order was issued to the tribunal for corruption, and there's a very short video. It's only 7 minutes long, and basically underneath it, it says urgent public announcement from co-founder of Natural and Public Common Law Tribunal for Public Health and Justice. And so here, if you click this tab here, it will take you to what is the final judgment. And so I will show you here. And what you will see here is on the 14th of June, an investigation was concluded to examine statements, complaints of corruption that go back as far as December into January, December 2020 into January 2021. Up until the current day, it's still transpiring, and this is why we've all convened today. And so basically, you will see it says Lady Charles 7 supporting mistreated, abused tribunal judges, and it is defendants Alfred, lLambremont, Webre, tribunal corruption within the executive administration team, which was formulated behind my back without my knowledge in March. As I said, I co-founded, just for anybody new who's entered, Alfred and I co-founded the tribunal. You'll get the evidence of that on the actual video. I've produced videos here for the record where you will see that. Anyway, so this says, this is the final judgment in the investigation, examination of evidence from 13 tribunal judges and 5 other complainants regarding the gross mistreatment and abuse of multiple tribunal judges from the Natural and Common Law Tribunal of Public Health and Justice. Now, for those people who have time, particularly former tribunal judges, I would recommend that you read, there is a summary which is in the sort of Roman numerals here, brief summary, and then there's a detailed section of the actual, the whole situation. So basically, detailed final judgment. Now, in the detailed section of the final judgment, you'll find exhibits from tribunal judges, which have been highlighted in red, so that anybody who wants to fast forward into the evidence can quickly get an idea of what was said. So I'm going to quickly just run through, not all of them, but just
I was going to say, just to remind you, it's coming up to 7 o'clock and the meeting finishes at 7:30. So if you want people to have an input as well.
Yes, I will conclude by 7 o'clock. We've got 3 minutes, so I'll rush through this and everybody can feedback. And so this is from Lena Poo, who is a 5G expert. She's an amazing, beautiful woman who I invited. And she basically flagged up that there was no due process being followed. People were being brought into the tribunal without following any protocol. And obviously, other judges have flagged up that people were also being removed without any due process or protocol. Now, in this instance, Lisa says, Alfred, I'm not sure what the intent is finding a TI or a post-TI, but whatever the case, this is not reflecting the kind of character and judge I want to be associated with. Now, Alfred brought in Magnus Olsen, and Lena Poo did her due diligence and found photographs of near naked women on his website. So this is in relation to that. These are verbatim exhibits of emails. Did you even vet him out before choosing? The YouTube icon on his website is of naked women, which led me to check on his YouTube channel, which is filled with only pictures of naked or near naked women, a hoarder's fest. He's not interested in saving mankind. Did you even vet him out at all? Even if he removes the photos, his character already raises flags for anyone who wishes to move ahead with this group tackling most serious world issues such as human and sex trafficking, sex slaves, child abuse, pornography, child abuse, etc., etc. All of our actions acting as judges especially requires all those character traits without question, the highest moral level of character, intentions, willpower, and purity. And I second that completely. This is why we are here today. And in honor of Lena Poo, who flagged it up in December. Unfortunately, I wasn't around at the time. I'm going to fast forward to some of the other things you can actually read for yourself, but I will fast forward to Leo Rebella. I know I've only got 1 minute. Final say on corrupt Alfred, lLambremont, Webre for his and Lima Bow's removal. Attention, all you good judges in this group, do stand up and right the wrong. Remove Alfred Webre as founder and Rima Leibel for manipulations, corrupt practicing, falsifying records and dictatorship. If necessary, those who think this man should be prosecuted may do so. Anyway, that's basically another one. There is countless, one after the other, coming from people. There is a testimony as to what happened to transpire that I actually, how I got removed. He ended up in an argument with Kemet Imani, who is here today. And so let me just, this is Kemet Imani, and she's here today with us, and her exhibit is F1, and you will see that Alfred asked me to open a meeting, and in that meeting he ended up shouting at Kemet and being extremely rude and disrespectful in front of me. And I didn't have an argument with him or anybody, but after which he removed me. And then since that, he's been abusing me ever since. So I want to go quickly fast forward, because there are some extremely, telling emails of a pattern that we see that has evolved over a period of time and has got to the point where people are absolutely being abused. And I feel extremely, very sad about it. So let me just quickly do it. I know that we're 1 minute past. Just give me another couple of minutes just to show you 2 other emails, and then I'll hand it over to all of you to respond. Just bear with me. Okay, this is a man called John Christina who emailed evidence, is copied verbatim. And he basically has sent a message to all of the tribunal judges. Alfred lLambremont Webre, defamation and angry man's action with attachment on proposed tribunal of conscience. Dear tribunal judges, this email is to politely decline invitation to be a tribunal judge on Alfred lLambremont Webre's Alfred Tribunals of Conscience that he offered me the opportunity when he was invited to be a guest with the European Coalition Task Force. Alfred invited me to make a presentation to judges listed on here, this email list, and all judges here received on the 26th of February. Alfred invited me again 1 week later on March the 21st, and I politely, professionally declined. He said, Alfred then responded by attacking me and defaming me, calling me mind control and part of deep state, all because I declined. I'm nothing. I'm notifying you because from my experience with Alfred last week, I believe he will lie to you and libel me. Then you might libel me based on Alfred's defamation. It is not a defense to repeat defamation, even if you believe it. So that is another one. And then I'm going to read you one more, because there are many. But these will give you a kind of indication of the seriousness of how people have been abused, removed, abused, removed. It says here, basically John and Bonnie, after Galactic Clyde set up a peace and resolution meeting on the 20th of April 2020 with the Garvey Village. On the 21st, Galactic Clyde and John and Bonnie were removed as tribunal judges for attending such a meeting. A month later, in May 2021, it says Alfred lLambremont Webre basically asked judges for their resignations after they'd already been removed. And this is from John and Bonnie. You would, if you would have stopped at your resignation from the tribunal is accepted and recorded, you would have done yourself a favor of for once being a professional and proving that everything I wrote about you is correct. So Mr. Robber and your glue and your maturity of a 9-year-old child, be well hopefully and less of a weirdo in the future. How these people stay on your coattail is beyond me. There has been one judge. There has been one judge who time and time again shown every single person reading this email his hate, and that guy is you, Alfred. Do you not realize that we contact each other and all talk? You have left a wake of hurt people behind you, people who only wanted to help. After what you just did with your wacky turnaround reinstatement, we knew we needed to get out now because of your crazy maniac behavior, which has been witnessed by everyone reading this, more people than you realize. So I'm going to fast forward just a couple of paragraphs of the next email, and then I'm going to hand over. I know that I've taken up more time than I wanted to. Okay, let's go to this section here, because this is extremely serious. To all addressed, we have watched as good judges such as Lina Poo, who came with her own documents ready to work, were turned away in favor of an obvious womanizer who has half-naked women all over his social media, and to this day has not lifted a finger to help. We were told in a Skype call, okay, let me just go down a bit, because oh God, it's gone too far and the time is running out. Okay. We have all the evidence to prove the following. We find Alfred lLambremont Webre to be a manipulator of people, an egomaniac, a liar, a backstabber, and a shamelessly disrespectful man. We, Bonnie and John, can, and they're beautiful people, by the way. We, Johnny and Bon, can not in good conscience have anything whatsoever to do with this so-called tribunal, which has never been the actual tribunal, but rather something more akin to a high school clique with King Alfred in charge in the tower. And he only listens to those who have wormed their way to the top of the tower. Alfred doesn't want judges, he wants cardboard cutouts of judges with springs affixed to their necks so that they continually nod their head. Basically, when you read this, it basically says they've got a lot of evidence and they're very, very hurt. They were beautiful people. John and Bonnie are absolutely fantastic, lovely, lovely people. And it hurt me deeply to see how they have been treated and everybody else has been treated in this situation. And so I have taken up the 6 minutes instead of the couple minutes. So I want to hand over to Michelle Young, if that's okay, because, and then Lawrence. Now, Michelle, you've had an experience and I really want you to be able to share your experience with other people, because what I believe is that Alfred brought in the deep state and it basically they set up the executive administration team behind my back, and they excluded all other judges from the decision-making process. And they have been defaming, slandering people, including myself, horrifically. And so, Michelle, what has happened to you?
Well, basically what happened, you know, I always made it clear, because I'm working on the financial crimes and, you know, I'm about to do a private prosecution against the Treasury on 9 cases where they've unlawfully bankrupted very solvent people and destroyed their lives. So I'm in the middle of a very big case against basically the deep state. So I made it clear that I'd never be able to give that much time. But, you know, because you welcomed me on there and you said these are great people, I joined. Then I had a separate email from Dr. Rima, and she wanted to do a show about what I'm doing, you know, exposing the judicial corruption with what they're doing to families. And then she told me about these cards that she had where she was these medical cards that help humanity. So I spent a lot of my very limited time trying to help her promote all these cards with all, you know, I introduced her to Sasha Stone and many other great social media contacts, including, you know, Romola, etc. You know, so we've been helping them promote their cars. And, you know, they said, well, look, we'll help you a little bit financially because, you know, you guys do all this work, you don't get paid. She set up a contract with Ralph for me. And, you know, I did it with the goodness of my heart on limited time. And then, you know, she's literally just used me and my contacts and my skill sets and never paid me a penny. And I'm in exactly the same position financially as yourself, Seven. So I feel very used. You know, by the way I've treated, and you know, so it's not. I don't treat people like that. If I say I'm going to do something, I do it, and that's it. But I can't actually stay any longer But what I would
Okay.
like to say as well, Seven, I introduce you to the most fabulous product, the Root brand products. And they are people that have been vaccinated. I don't know if Kate's still on here, but people that have literally been on their deathbed.
Hi, I'm on here, Michelle. I'm still here.
Kate, just to say,
listening.
Kate, these products are so good. People have literally been dying from the vaccines. They've reversed engineered all the damage. Now, the scientists behind this, everyone, and I particularly wanted Kate to hear this, she worked for all the top pharmaceutical companies. But what she did, she worked...
Michelle, can you email all that to me separately?
Yes, Michelle.
I'll do that.
Mind. Yes, if you can email the information, because we have limited amount of time.
Okay.
But
Michelle, email it to me, because I'd like to hear that. Maybe you and I can have a chat this week, Michelle.
Yeah, we can maybe to 3 of us. I would say,
Shall we do that? You know why, Seven? Because I've got limited time, and I know that this is a cure for humanity for all those that have been vaccinated. So I will spread my heart from wherever I can. And the Root brand products are great, and for you as well, Seven.
Yes,
but you know, you've got my full backing. I'm so sorry what they've done to you. I know you're a very good soul, and everyone on here, I feel very, very hurt what they've done.
Thank you.
And on those words, everyone.
Thank you for the tonic. I didn't even realize you're here. Chief tonic. Michelle, I just want to say, actually, Rima was the one that put a spanner in the clean slate, because we were going to try to get it to people, and she condemned it. She condemned it as being something that nobody should take. But let's talk about this offline, if you don't mind, because I want to get to Lawrence. He's been waiting to speak.
Okay.
Waiting to speak, because the objective
make sure you include me in that call, eh?
Guys, can I send lots of love? God bless you all. And the products are wonderful. And you know, I do believe, Seven, if you set up a new tribunal, I've got constitutional judges that know all about.
It's already, as you saw from the website. We've already
I got a couple of people I want you to put on that tribunal.
Yes, so we'll be having a meeting about that, because we're in dangerous times and we need a tribunal. But we need a tribunal that we can actually protect and run it in the.
We need security forces behind the tribunal.
In accordance with God. So let me thank you so much, Michelle. I'm so grateful, because I really didn't know that you had been exploited as well, because it's exploitation that's happening. And unfortunately, every single case is involving Rima Leibau. Her name is over and over. If you read the tribunal judgment, you will see that's been the case for majority of the people, if not all of the people. So I want to thank you for coming and for sharing. I'm just deeply
I'll say thank you also, Michelle. And yes, I'd like to be, I'm interested also in the product. So whenever you're
let's have another meeting. We'll set that up.
So we go quickly on to Lawrence because of the time.
Yeah, because we're running out of time. Lawrence, can you would you like to share?
Thank you, Michelle. Good night.
You're welcome. God bless.
God bless you, Michelle. Thank you.
Respect and manners, Michelle.
Yeah, God bless my friend.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, guys.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Mute.
You need to mute the device
mute your mic.
as well as the mic. You need to mute both of them, the mic and your device.
Oh, okay. Let me just mute my device. You don't need to. I need to mute. You should be okay now.
Okay. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
No problem.
Sorry, I can't hear. Greetings to everyone. Auntie Jean, Patrick, Seven,
yes.
Amina, and Kate, and everyone who's here. Everything that has transpired up to this point, because I was asked to come on and be a judge at some stage, and I attended some tribunals. But what has arisen since that time, I sent out an email on around March that everybody got, and basically I ensured 7 of my backing and support. Everything that's happened is, one, it's very disappointing in light of what the whole tribunal, the whole essence of the tribunal is about, with everything that's transpiring and happening right now on planet Earth. We know it's a very serious time, that if there is this situation that we have to deal with, it's very wrong. I'm disappointed about a lot of things. I'm disappointed about the allegations that are being brought against 7, when the evidence proves otherwise, in all manner of areas that have been being talked about. I'm disappointed personally, because after I wrote that email, I did make a point in my life of basically stepping away, because it's unfair, and it's not correct. I'm going to try and be as quick as I can, and all the evidence, everything that has been, I mean, in particular that email I just viewed, with the heading of Afro-racists, and then all the other Afro-racists who are involved in the tribunal, that basically is just basically spreading it across a wide board, and basically it's directed at every person of color. That's what that basically is. It's spreading it right there, and it's saying it so clearly. There's no room to hide in from you're making those kind of comments. You cannot hide when you're actually being viewed by people of color. So that could be very, very xenophobic, and it can be taken that way. I'm going to be very quick as well. Like, all I'm really saying is this: I'm very disappointed with everything that's gone on with Alfred Webre, the Kemet argument that was proven to be nothing to do with 7 in the first place, the withholding and denying of funds, that could be termed as theft, fraud, or embezzlement, whatever you want to do. It's not looking good for a person such as Alfred Webre, in light of the fact that Alfred and 7 were both co-founder members, and it's being said now that she was never a co-founder member. It's all fabricated, it's all distorted, it's all lies, it's all untruths, and I'm just not happy at all. But I had to step in today to say what I have to say about it, and I've said it. I'm going to shut it down there because I know other people need to speak. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lawrence. I really do appreciate that. Thank you for your wisdom and, you know, sharing and your compassion in addressing this situation. Galactic Clyde, are you able to speak at this point? Brother Clyde, are you able to speak?
Yes, I'm able to speak. I'll be very brief. I was very disappointed. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Unable to do so.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Oh, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear
you.
Well, I would like to say I was very disappointed because after I heard...
You may be on mute, or do a test. We can hear him.
If it's me.
Test,
I can hear him. I can hear him.
Oh, maybe it's me. Hang on.
Yeah.
Oh, it is me. Go ahead.
My biggest disappointment with Alfred is actually when we invite Alfred to answer the complaints that I've received from when Kemin called me to explain to me what happened in the meeting about the cease and desist for St. Vincent with Tanic Man, because I was invited to that meeting. But anyway, when she called me to tell me what went down in the meeting, I was like, well, I need to find out. I need to, ask around. I didn't want to say I disbelieve what Kemet was saying, but in everything, you are saying multitude of counselors, there's for safety. So I need to go around and just hear from everybody what transpired. So I spoke to Kemet. After speaking to Kemet, I speak to Tanic Man and I speak to 7. And so I said, you know what, with this kind of complaint, we need to have a meeting. So I set up the meeting with the judges, and we invite Alfred, and we said it was going to be fair. We just want to get to the root and nip whatever the issues is, get to the root of it. He not, up to today, he not even answer anything to do with the meeting. He never respond. I called him, I sent him letters. I called him on both his home line and also on his social media line. He never answer. The only body that responded, well, I wouldn't say the only body that responded. Some of the judges came on, a few judges came on from the tribunal, and Rima was very, Rima was like, well, we're too busy to have time. She looks at it as it was senseless. And well, I responded to her in the letter that she sent. Is like, if you can't take care of an issue here right in front of you as the judges, how can you deal with the world issue if you can't take care of your own affair as judges? And so this was right on the front door of the judges, in the term that it was very important. You can't consider not important, especially when you had to do with one of the fellow judge. Well, not even one, but two judges, both Seven and Kemin. And anyway, for those who came on, we had a meeting, and up to today, Alfred never responded, never said nothing. All I heard that I was terminated from being one of the judges. And I didn't even send him a message direct. I get it indirect from other people are saying what his response was. And so I'm very disappointed. It was very disrespectful, and I didn't expect this from Alfred.
Brother, can you also speak, obviously, John and Bonnie, who created the logo, beautiful couple.
Yes.
They were terminated at the same time as you because of the fact that you organized the meeting. And another issue that is important for you to speak on is that they said that I organized the meeting for my friends. In terms of the meeting that you organized, they said it was me and that I violated the tribunal because I organized the meeting. And
We'll be very quick, sis.
Yes,
okay.
Well, I organized the meeting and I chaired the meeting. And one of the reasons why I organized the meeting, because I also know Kemet, and I'm familiar with the people at the meeting who, like Kemet, are familiar with Tonic Man, which we were just getting to know from St. Vincent, and also yourself, Seven. And I thought it was very important for us to get to the root of the issue, because it seems uncalled for. So the meeting was to remedy the situation. So I did call the meeting, and because I didn't want to pass judgment on Alfred or on anybody without having certain evidence from both sides. Because I said, yes, Kemet, I hear what you said, but I also need to see what other people at the meeting, take on what the matter, what went down. And this is why I said, let's organize the meeting to get to the root of it. So I organized it. Also, Johnny and Bonnie, I met them I met them online in connection to the first time I being part of the tribunal. I was there when they actually set up the logo, so I was aware of that. And I thought they was very, very, very sincere and very loving couple. And, they bring a lot to the table. Dr. Ribello used to be up late, even though that he's past his time in terms of he's from India. And since then, we got in touch with Dr. Ribello because we realized he was credible. But what I did not know, that a lot of the write-up for the tribunal, Dr. Ribello was the one that actually was at the foundation of the cease and desist tribunal order. I don't know if that's the right name I'm using for that. But he did a lot of work behind that. And I didn't realize that until we actually got in touch with him, just to, find out his side and actually to try to work with him and knowing his credibility. And, it's a shame. It's a shame because the project that we're looking at in terms of what's going on in the world, it's a big project. But at the same time, if it's not done right, if what we're doing as judges is not done right, it's a waste of time. And so it's always better to iron out our own issue. As I say, pick the beam out your eyes before you can pick it out of others. And that's what we need to do and we have to do as judges. But it's not the end. We can't say it's the end. We just have to clean up what the actions are and see ways to move forward, because there's a big fight ahead. But if we're not right, we wouldn't be able to assist in any way in terms of the rest of the world problem.
Okay, brother, just one thing. Can you tell me, you remember you called me one day and said, Seven, there's emails saying that I did X, Y, and Z. Do you remember you called me up and they were saying something about my eyes? Can you just talk for a couple of seconds and then we move up on to Kemet, please?
Yeah, I saw the email to defame Seven, and I said, Seven, I don't know if you've seen that email, but he's saying that you've been a spy and things like that because there's something in your eyes and you're inside and all of that. So I called you and I asked you to look at the email because I think Alfred is trying to use a loophole or something negative to actually make Seven looks bad in the eyes of the rest of the judges. But I must say to all the judges, if we're going to be judging issues to do with the world, we have to be fair, we have to be honest, but we also have to be able to judge amongst ourselves our issues, because no problems is too small for us to solve amongst ourselves if we're going to look at the rest of the world problem. And I think the issue was we had too much. That's what Rima bring up. The problems of the world is too big to be dealing with the petty. No, this is not a petty issue. This is a very important issue, and it still needs to be sorted.
Thank you, brother. Now, Kemet, can you speak a little bit in terms of the money now? Because we organized a peace and resolution settlement meeting last Monday. I showed you on the website that I created. There's a web page there which contains the final judgment, and the website name is lawtribunal.hns.to. So lawtribunal.hns. H for happy, N for November, S for sugar, .to. You can go and have a look at those documents. And in the order, we gave Alfred until the 21st of June to return the money he's been collecting, and to the 28th, which was yesterday, to provide an affidavit as to why he has been abusing people and defaming and lying about all of us, because I worked with him 6 years, I never knew him like that. So Kemet, can you just explain, because obviously you were communicating with Alfred back and forth before the settlement meeting was to transpire. And this is the meeting that we're sitting on today that Alfred had agreed to come on. And what he's done, he said that I have basically, I've refused to do some form of settlement, but that's not true, because this is the actual meeting.
Let her answer because it's due to time.
Okay, go ahead, Kemet.
Good evening, family. I'm kind of a bit over all this madness, to tell you the truth. As far as I'm concerned, Alfred just came head on with defamation of character towards Sevens. I mean, he could have tried it with me, but I couldn't really give a damn because he doesn't warrant or justify who I am and what I am. I don't see acknowledgement from Alfred or anybody else, but as Kate said, from the Most High. So I really don't care about that. But with Sevens, I get it, and I think he was bang out of order because Sevens is somebody who Sevens entrusted her whole life. She would have laid down her life for Alfred, and I think for him to go in on her, especially when she had nothing to do with any of the issues or anything that was going on, he's bang out of order. And anybody that kind of stands on side with Alfred for that, and I mean, people could take sides, do what they want or whatever, I just think they are of a low kind of grounding as well, or standing as well, because if you know Sevens, she's kind of upright, righteous, she's about truth, and she's full of integrity. Now he's holding on money, which I know when I received information about the crowdfunder or GoFundMe for Sevens, it was I mean, from the tribunal, it was about Sevens and about her escaping the domestic violence refuge, and us putting funds together, raising money so she can pay her rent when she goes into a new place and so forth. So to know that he's holding on to those funds, and not even giving it to her. Like, it's almost like dangling the carrot because she knows she's in a dire straight situation. It just makes me think you're like the lowest of the lowest, especially when someone's vulnerable like that. Don't kick a person when they're down. I don't kind of respect that behavior at all. So for me, the main thing is, I know what Seven's like. Seven's will be like, I don't care about the money. I don't, you know, even if you offer Seven's money or anything, she never wants to take anything. That's why he could get away with that and her not having any access to it, because she's not that person. She doesn't care about that. She cares about truth, righteousness, and saving the people. That's Seven's. So I'm only here. I'm over the whole thing. I really am. I just couldn't be asked about anything to do with it, because it's just like, I just feel like the hamster in the wheel with this whole thing.
So
but I'm here because
Sister, I know, sorry to cut you because we haven't got a lot of time.
Oh, sorry.
Did Alfred say to you that he would attend a meeting? Didn't he agree that he was going to attend a meeting to settle the money? He said, he basically said, don't use the logo, don't use the same name. And I said, fine. And he said that I will agree to give you the money.
Yeah, he said that.
Yeah, it's in the email. It's in the email.
He said he was going they're going to hold a meeting or have a meeting to talk about how they're going to disseminate the money to you or whatever and stuff like that. But he's too wishy-washy, so I can't with him.
Thank you, sis. Now, just because basically he said that I refused the money, is basically saying refuse the civil settlement. And so I want to put it on record. I never received any money, and he's deliberately withholding the money. Now, I want Brother Patrick to quickly speak, because we have to go because there's another meeting. But if we can get a word from Brother Patrick in regards to the public's money is being taken by this man. And, you know, I know that you was one of the people that wrote to Alfred, who is flipping it round to make it look like I'm trying to extort. Meanwhile, he's fleecing off the money. And it hurts me to say this because I love this man, but it's, you know, I can't respect who he's become. He's behaving like a monster now. So go ahead, Brother Patrick.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Yeah, from I've known Seven for quite a number of years, and I've always thought that Alfred was a good person, and you know, I was quite a fan of what he stood for. But after I've seen what's happened of late, it's very plain to see that the man has completely changed his character. He's almost somewhat demonic, because some of the things that I'm hearing and seeing is so full with lies and deceit. It's to the point very disturbing for me to see someone turn around in that manner. And you know, even if I didn't know Seven and I've seen what was going on, it doesn't take a fool to work out what this guy is doing. You know, he's definitely involved in some sort of plan to destroy what is being built. He's definitely been compromised in some way. And this person that I keep hearing about, who's only just turned up, it seems very obvious. It doesn't take a detective to work out that there's something in order here, some sort of plan in order to destroy this whole thing.
Thank you, brother. Really well said. Now, does anybody want to have a last say before
Chief Tonic wanted to have a quick word.
Yeah, well, I just gotta say, Seven's a beautiful soul. I can't stop saying, brother. I just feel your energy and your pain, but I gotta say, from the time I get on the call, like I'm connected to the universe spiritually, mentally, and physically, and I can see through things. And I gotta tell you that I sense the demon, the snake in Alfred. Is someone that you could not have trust, but I let it be, because sometimes you have to give them the benefit of the doubt, because you're telling me he was a nice person. But he shows two colors. Well, some people can be a snake with a different color on top of the skin, but they're snakes. So that's the pretensive they will pretend in the beginning, that they're lovely. But in the ending, no matter how much you disguise your true colors, it eventually show up. So within the process of you inviting me to the meeting, and Sevens and Kemet, he shows his true color by disrespecting Kemet, and he caused his true colors to be exposed. So you see him for who he truly are. So after a while now, the cover is blown. So you can't really trust people like Alfred, because you could sense the energy that is a low vibrational energy that he gives out. He's just hiding behind closed door. It's like that. So I sensed that, but I didn't want to say nothing. I just had to let it unfold, because you was keep telling me Alfred is this and that. But in my mind, something told me that this guy is a snake and something is gonna be erupting. Even before I got in the meeting, when you tell me about this guy and you tell me he's in charge, I just had the energy from the ancestors connection, because I had a vision a couple of nights before. I'm gonna come into a movement with some of my people, and they're gonna be meaningful good, or they're gonna be a traitor on board. And that was Alfred.
Oh my God.
Right.
So sad.
That was Alfred.
Brother, can I ask you,
Yeah.
because he said he wrote a message for me, you and I, to do his publicity. After he tried to remove me as the co-founder, he basically sent you and I a message to do the publicity for the tribunal, even though he'd never asked you personally. He doesn't know you from a can of paint. How do you feel about that? I personally felt it was racism involved in that. How did you feel?
Yeah, it was racism. It was a very, very disrespectful, and it's a low vibration. Like I said, I'm on a high vibration now. I'm not about to lower my energy for these negative beings that is all over the place, working with the deep state and trying to demolish the population of the earth and control the resources. I'm not into anything with them. So once you stay in a high vibration, you detect them, you weed them out, and you just move along them. Because they don't have, for me, these low vibration, I see them, I move around them, they all live in the island everywhere. My energy is above this energy, so I just block them out in most times, remove them from around me, and just forward my constructive energy to a higher level. So I don't really have time for them. Trust me, it's just about moving them and pushing them out your way. You know, so I'm doing things with my nation, building my nation. I believe my Granny Inca is on here, and a couple of my council members, because I wanted them to get in and listen. So Kenneth, what I would like you to do for me, Sevens, Kenneth and Auntie Jean and everybody on this movement, I would like in the tribunal, you keep me updated so that this new tribunal, we could have a couple of the Caribbean brothers and sisters who is very knowledgeable in the tribunal, because we need to make it global.
Absolutely, you definitely have to be closely involved. But first we have to clean up what has happened, because there's been a lot of hurt people. Alfred is saying that he wants to take action against me for malicious slander, extortion, criminal extortion. I mean, I haven't done anything. He's the one that's fleecing money from me. Now, is there anybody else? Because I know Auntie Jean, you got to go.
It's over 7 minutes over the time. So I can only give you a couple more minutes, really.
Okay, so anybody else want to say anything before we sign off?
Anybody, even any of my council members who've been here who want to say anything? Granny Inca, anyone of you here? You want to say anything?
Kate Shamarani, maybe you should finish.
Yeah. I've got to go in a minute, but Seven, please do keep me updated, because obviously I'm still on the mailing list. And
you need to take your name off that tribunal, because it's associated with deep corruption right now.
It is. And my barrister, obviously I just work with him, because we're working on my barrister and I, although he's my barrister for my 6 criminal charges, he's also, we also work together with how we can stop, we're doing something with how we can stop the vaccinations going ahead with the kids, because the kids in care in the UK. And for anyone else who's listening on here, these kids are predominantly black, born at the back of the queue, and they're about to be injected at the front of the queue. It's the way it is. It's the way it is, you know. You know that, Seven. You know my kids are mixed race, and it is what it is. So we're working on that. So I've been on there just listening. I don't really say very much. They have weekly tribunals, and there's different things on there. I see, you know, just the cease and desist orders. And like I say, Rima, when I contacted Rima and asked her what, you know, I was really straight. She was very polite and very professional back to me. She wasn't rude. She didn't say anything. I don't know whether she, I don't know. I don't know whether they know me as being quite straight, and I'll be very direct. And as I've already said, you know this, Seven, about me. I sail my own ship. I don't need to get on anyone else's.
So what do you feel about what you've seen in the emails, Kate? I mean,
well, I find it very bizarre because you and I were on right from the beginning. So to say you're not one of the judges on it is really odd for me, because you brought me on.
Yeah, they want to be removed. Yeah, I mean,
so it's very odd, and it's very odd to see it from a professional point of view. To see the content of the emails is very bizarre. It's very, very bizarre. I mean, I'm sure I think you were on the evening that, I think it was a Sunday, and we were on early and we were waiting for others to join, and I was chatting to Alfred, and he was telling me how he was a reporter for the United Nations and a cameraman. We were talking about the Falklands, and he was telling me, you know, what the Falklands was really about. So that's the real Alfred Weber. So for me to read some of the emails, it's really bizarre. I can't put the two together. Yeah, I can't put the man we were talking to and the emails. There's a bit of a dichotomy there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand it. This has come from nowhere. It blindsided me. I never had no argument with Alfred or anything.
But Seven, I also think it's really important that one of us or some of us remain on it just to listen.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea.
I don't know. I mean, my personal feeling is that people are being hurt, and I help.
Seven, I'm not being hurt.
You need to have somebody.
You know who I am. You know who I am. We've spoke privately, Seven. I'm not being hurting me, but I think we. You know what's that saying? Keep your enemies
closer.
I think somebody needs to be on it, because if, you know, you've already identified that he's been really good and a good friend to you, and that Rima, like I say, Rima has kept me absolutely on a professional. She didn't say anything to me. It was really odd. Well,
but you see, Kate, you're white. It could be that I'm being abused because she's racist. I don't know. I mean, she hasn't basically needed to take something. In Michelle's case, she said that she was exploited, you know. So we need to. She has.
I don't give anything, Seven, to them. I just listen. I'll probably chat more to you on WhatsApp.
And that's all you need to do is just listen. That's all you need to do. I'm just not dividing too quickly, but what you're saying is very serious about the youths in the children in the homes being put up front to be vaccinated. Is it possible that you could come onto one of the platforms to let us know? I know you're busy, but if there is a time.
No, always. That's my main thing is the kids. So I was in London at the weekend. I was all over the rally at the weekend interviewing people. And that's always been what it's about. But I'm sure you know, if you're in the UK, that the whole thing is about, the main thing is about, this is satanic.
Yes.
And it's about getting the kids, and they want the kids in care. Yeah. And they're telling the Black and Asian, they're telling the Black and Asian community they're most at risk. This is a white supremacist spiritual war. This is a Zionist Jews. You can't say that. I've already offended the Jewish community. I don't care. But they're telling the Black and the Asian community, you're most at risk. We're going to put you first. We're going to vaccinate Khan.
Yeah.
But actually, you know that they've already betrayed. I always say they've been betrayed by the people that brought them into the world, and they're about to be betrayed for the last time. Yes. The kids are by those that are meant to look after them. So this is definitely any the Black and the Asian community. They're going to kill you first, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And but most of the kids in care are Black.
Yeah.
A huge portion, and the way the social system is set up is so that you get more money the more different fathers you have, because you get so much money under the whole financial care. You get money for the first child, less for the second, less for the third, unless they're from different fathers.
Yeah.
And so they're, you know, they're these sadly, it's been promoted that it's best to have kids from different fathers. And then
It's
the father
corruption.
is kept out of the picture. So the children then are very easy to bring into the judicial system, which keeps the judicial system rolling with the black kids. And then these children are very easy to disappear in the system for paedophilia, for sacrifice. And it's fact. I don't know why.
I can have if you can put both of yourself and Sister Amani together, we can sort of like touch on that. Sister Sevens, I think the best thing that you can do is collect and galvanize as many judges as you can for
and start again
your tribunal, and that way at least you know it's going to be done honestly and professionally.
Yes. Can I ask
and make sure that you is the head, and that there's no one to overthrow.
Can I ask
you know
Kate?
what? I can only give you 2 more minutes, and I'm going
Okay,
to
can I ask you, Kate? Just let me say this.
You need to channel this energy, Seven.
No,
Forget
no, I'm
Alfred.
just. I know I'm
Forget
forgetting
Alfred, and we need to channel this into the kids.
is publishing that I have extorted money.
No one believes him.
No, it's not about he's believing him. It's the fact that he's attacking me.
Yeah,
is
no,
it
but
possible that you can actually communicate with that? He's fleecing money from my name, Kate. He's stealing money. It's wrong. He's taking money from the public, telling them it's for me, and he's not giving me the money. Can you do anything to communicate with this man?
Well, I can. I will ask. I'll come right out and ask. But you know what? Ultimately, God knows your heart. And people will always do this. They'll always fleece money in your name, but you rise above it. Everybody knows it's not true. And Seven, you need to we need to channel this here. We're all in the UK here. They're going to take the kids. They're going to take the kids and they're going to vaccinate them. Use your name. And your name is well known. Use your name and let's channel it into something that's worthwhile.
But this is why I'm doing a tribunal, a new tribunal, and I have a network that's coming, and there's a lot of things. That's why I want you to invite you over, Kate. I want to.
Can I say
something
to Sevens? Can I say something to you? Stop channeling that low vibration from Albert back to yourself.
No, I don't. The problem that I have is that this man is every day, he's written, published articles that I have criminal extortion done, and he is basically criminally extorting the public.
He can't prove it. That's the thing.
It's not about him proving it. He has to be stopped. And basically, by you continuing, hold on, Brother Tonic, by you going onto the tribunal and ignoring the fact that this man is doing this,
I will ask.
Allowing him to continue, because it's
Seven. I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask, but also I will ask, but also, you know, you need to
stop just attacking Seven. It's bullying what he's doing.
It is, but you know what, Seven, no one believes him. So what you should do now is we have much more important things to focus on. I was outside West Ham Vaccination Centre, and all our young adults were there, thousands of them, and I was there with a megaphone. So now we've got much more important things to do. Forget about Alfred in Canada. I can deal with that. No one believes him.
No,
right now, you and I are in the UK. You and I are in the UK.
He's got to stop. So I want you to come over, and we do something, Kate, because I have a studio. And you know, when you're in London, let's do
I'm in
something.
Tuesday. I'm actually filming for the Tommy Robinson crew, but I mean, I don't care. Think whatever you like about them. The point is, it's about the kids now.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Kate. If you can.
Seven. Listen, Seven. You and I have known each other a long time. You have my loyalty. Don't worry about it.
Thank you. I really appreciate it, Kate, and I appreciate that you took the time to come on here.
I will speak when I go on. I'll be very bold and I'll ask it. Don't worry. And the truth always prevails. The truth always prevails.
Stop. What he's doing is abuse.
Yeah, I know, but Kate knows what to say to him, and she will say it.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for coming on. Thank you, Auntie Jean. For coming on, and Patricia, Lawrence, Patrick, Kate, Tonic Man, Kemet, Ava, Dr. Ben, is it Dr. Ben? Galactic Clyde, Janice Subia, John B, and Anastasia.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Right.
Really
I'd like to say one thing before we close. The light will win in the end.
That's
Trust
right.
Do you want to make a message, everybody, to Alfred about the money? Just one statement quickly about returning what has been taken. Do you want to say something here? Because obviously you will see this.
We haven't got the time, sis. I've got 10 minutes and I've got to start the other Zoom at 7.
Okay, even if it's one word, just to say.
Could you
Can I say?
It's not possible to organise another meeting, another short meeting, maybe for an hour, in order for people to put their views and opinions across in terms of.
We can't do it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Seven, stay strong.
Thank you.
And stay beautiful.
Much.
And just channel your energy in a productive level, and channel your energy for the enemy and the wicked to fall. So Alfred can't touch you. Stop.
We can all feel your pain. We can all feel your pain.
Yeah, we feel your pain, but don't channel your energy with Alfred. No,
absolutely
that lowers your
not.
vibration.
Absolutely not. Thank
Love,
you.
light, Empress.
Love, light to everyone. Yeah.
Thank you.
Be strong, stay focused. Love, light.
As Sister Kate said, the children are in need. They need somebody on their side.
Auntie Jeannie, it was a pleasure. Sister Sevens and Kemet, Galactic Clyde, and Patrick and everybody. It was a pleasure. Love, light to everyone. Peace and balance.
Right. Okay. Pleasure to meet you all, and Kate. Thank you very much.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good night.